Hi, my name is Grant Kramer, and I'm a professor emeritus at the University of Nevada, Reno. Are you passionate about wine as I am? Then you know that growing grapes, fermenting wine, and drinking that wine is good for the heart as well as the soul. And if you are interested in having some private consulting or direct contact with me, you can reach me at my new email address called drvinoinreno@gmail.com. I'll be happy to respond to you.
Wait, stop, don't go. I have a story to tell you full of adventure, mystery, and discovery. Please watch this video to the very end.
Well, I'm out here watering the vineyard, and I noticed this vine is missing all of its leaves, all the way up to the top. And to my surprise, I've never seen anything like this. I found at the bottom on the ground a giant hornworm, which I promptly killed before I thought about taking a photograph of it. So here's documentation that tomato hornworms do eat grapevines. Amazing. Hard to believe. I've never seen it before.
What? You're kidding me, Grant. You went and smashed the hornworm before you even took a good photo of it? What were you thinking? Well, maybe there's another one out there we can find to take a better photograph of it.
Okay, I have another vine that is showing signs of the previous vine of a tomato hornworm. So where is he? Or she, I should say. There he is, right there on my vine, trying to eat up my vine. Well, at least I can recognize where they are, but this one's gotta go.
Okay, I found another one. But did I get a good picture of it? No, I didn't check before killing it. I'm just too eager to get rid of these horrible creatures. I don't want them eating my grapevines. Okay, so I got to thinking about it. Are hornworms eating grapevines? Now, I know the hornworm, the tomato hornworm, is the Manduca species, so let's look it up online. I did a search on Google for tomato hornworms and grapevines, and I didn't find anything on that. However, I did find this website at Michigan State University.
So in this web page by Michigan State University's Duke Elsner in the Michigan State University Extension, he talks about hornworm caterpillars being in the vineyard. Well, that's interesting. But he describes these hornworm caterpillars as from the Sphinx moth family, from Eumorpha acemon, or acemon, as I would like to say. That's not a Manduca species. What's going on here? So I decided to write my wine tasting partner, buddy, and colleague, the world famous David Schooley from the University of Nevada, Reno, who is a world expert on Manduca hornworms, which he has discovered many of the juvenile hormones and other hormones that control the development of these very interesting hornworms. So I decided to write him, as he has studied these, and I wanted to know if he had ever heard of a tomato hornworm eating a grapevine. And his answer was no. Now, tomato hornworms are interesting because they're capable of eating tomato plants without dying, because the tomato leaves are full of poison. In fact, it comes from the most poisonous plant family in the world called the Solanaceae. But they have some way of digesting the poison and breaking it down so that it doesn't kill them. So could these hornworms be the same as the Eumorpha acemon? I don't know. I had to do a little bit more research to find out. Okay, So I found a couple of websites with the Achaemon sphinx moth, and this is very interesting information. So the moth, which is again Eumorpha achaemon, is known to eat grape leaves. In fact, it feeds on the native wild species of grapevines in North America, and this moth is from North America. This hornworm has two distinct colors or two different forms of the larvae. One is the green one, which you can see down at the bottom, and another one is the brown one, which is seen up in the upper right-hand corner or on the left in the bottom. The interesting part of this hornworm is that it loses its horn on the hind end in its last molt, and typically it's full grown between August and September. Note that this is October 10th. It finally develops into this pupa at the bottom right-hand corner, which is solid, and it works its way down into the soil below the vines to rehatch next year, where there will be more abundant grapevines to feed on. So, could my hornworm actually not be a tomato hornworm, but is a Achaemon sphinx hornworm? Let's go back out to the vineyard and see if there might still be another hornworm out there that we can use to positively identify this hornworm. Sure enough, I found another vine that looks like it has a hornworm eating it. It's the brown form, not the green form. So I have both the green and the brown form in my vineyard. A big clue that this is indeed the Eumorpha achaemon that eats grapes. Note there is no horn on the rear end. It's beautiful, but deadly. Well, here are some quick facts produced by the Extension IPM specialist, Nick Volesky, on the tomato and the tobacco hornworm. As it turns out, both the tomato and the tobacco hornworm will eat tomatoes, but there's no evidence that they eat grapevines. And as you can see, they look very, very similar. However, the species are different, and the markings are different between not only the tomato hornworm, which is Manduca quinquemaculata, and sorry, my pronunciation is difficult on that, and the tobacco hornworm, that should be Manduca. It says Maduca. It's Manduca sexta, which is the tobacco hornworm. Both of these may be on your tomato plants. They're distinguished by their side markings with the white lines, and they're distinguished by the horn on the hind end in terms of its color. So in my vineyard, we have the brown form and the green form, both without a horn on the rear end, clearly indicating that this is the Eumorpha achaemon that eats grapevines.
Well, that's my hornworm shocker. It was indeed a shock to me to see a hornworm eating my vines. But it led to mystery regarding which hornworm might it be, and secondly, to discover that there were other hornworms out there. In fact, there are thousands of species in this sphinx moth family. So in summary, I think it's safe to say that tomato hornworms do not eat grapevines, but there are other hornworm species out there, and in this case, it's the Eumorpha achaemon, which is a relatively rare species in North America, as it feeds on grapevines, wild grapevines, and has been now found in commercial vineyards as well. So, we've made a great discovery today. I've learned something really new and fascinating. In fact, it kept me up all night just thinking about it after I discovered it. Well, if you enjoyed this video, then please like this video on my YouTube channel, as it will bring attention to it for other people to view it. And you may discover other videos that are also interesting on my YouTube channel? If so, then I encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, as you will be able to get more videos like this one on viticulture and other videos on enology. Have a great day.